One person, one vote. It is the bedrock upon which our democracy is based.
But a News Channel 5 investigation has found state lawmakers are often casting more than one vote on important pieces of legislation.
And as investigative reporter Jennifer Krause discovered, this so-called ghost voting is happening in the House chambers probably a lot more often than you think.
I hereby declare the House of Representatives now in session.
Last year, Tennessee lawmakers passed the controversial voter ID law aimed at eliminating voter fraud.
You should be who you say you are when you go vote.
But when it comes to their own votes,
All those in favor of House Bill 2633, vote aye when the bell rings.
we found House members not only vote for themselves, they also vote for others who are not in their seats. And sometimes, believe it or not, they even vote for members who are not even there.
I think this is a fraud on the taxpayers. I think this is a fraud on the people of Tennessee.
Political watchdog and radio talk show host Steve Gill had no idea this was going on. In this one instance here, you can see 4 lawmakers are voting for others.
That's not what they were sent there to do.
The Representative Dale Ford insists it's no big deal.
You don't think this is important?
No. It's neither illegal or immoral. There's nothing wrong with it. It's done all the time.
It's such a common practice in the House, in fact, that many lawmakers have sticks they use to reach each other's voting buttons.
I'm disgusted by it.
And we found they're not just voting for each other.
Take the roll, Mr. Clerk.
When the clerk takes roll, lawmakers scurry around, pushing the buttons of others, so that even those who are not there are marked as present. At one recent session, according to the official record, everyone was there.
Madam Speaker, 99 members present.
But by our count, more than a dozen seats sat empty, including Representative Lois DeBerry's.
No, I wasn't here late.
You didn't get here late?
No, about 5:15.
She was actually 40 minutes late. And when she wasn't there,
We are voting on House Bill 30.
we watched as her seatmate, former House Speaker Jimmy Nafee, voted for her.
She had called me to let me know she was running late.
But get this, days earlier, DeBerry didn't even show up. Yet according to the official House record, not only was she there, but she cast nearly 24 votes. During roll call, Representative Joe Towns first clocked her in, and not long after, Nafee did the same thing. And throughout the morning, we watched as he continued to vote for her again and again.
So how often do you ask him to push the button for you? Oh, not often. Not often. I'm always here.
You're always here.
I'm always here.
And when you're not here?
When I'm not here, I'm always here.
But DeBerry's office confirmed she was not there that day.
This is a big issue.
Yet voting records from that day show she voted to lower the sales tax on food and eliminate the so-called inheritance tax.
And I think people are going to be disgusted to realize that their legislators aren't actually casting the votes. They come back during election time and proudly claim, I passed that bill. I pushed that bill. You didn't even push your own button.
And it's not just Democrats. Another day we watched Republican Dale Ford clock in his seatmate Dennis Roach and then vote for him again and again and again and again. In all, Roach cast a dozen votes that session without ever stepping foot in the chambers. When he finally did show up, an hour and a half late, Ford then cleared his desk and left for the night, leaving Roach to vote for both of them on the final few bills. Afterwards, Representative Roach wouldn't talk about it.
No comment.
No comment. If you're going to ask the question, I'm not commenting.
But several days later, we caught up with his voting partner, who had no problem with what they did.
You voted for Representative Roach when he wasn't here.
And I'll do it again. I'll do it again if he has a meeting. He'll call me or I'll call somebody. It don't matter who he calls. We'll do what we can to help each other.
It is not too much to ask that they show up for work and do their jobs.
Gill says lawmakers should focus on voting for their constituents, not each other.
Do you think this is what the voters sent you here to do?
Yes, they sent me here to do. In fact, I don't have to answer to Channel 5. I do answer to my voters. If they have something to tell me, they'll tell me, not you.
Has every member voted?
Now, the legislative rules say all members are supposed to be in their seats at their own desks when they're casting votes. But lawmakers tell me this rule is rarely enforced. The House clerk explained it like this, saying this is a courtesy given to lawmakers so they can get up to take care of legislative business or even go to the bathroom, Rory.
All right, so Jennifer, what has the reaction been overall on Capitol Hill?
Well, there's been a lot of buzz, even some fallout already. After we confronted Lois DeBerry about missing that session, the next morning she went to the clerk's office and asked them to take back the pay she'd received for that day. The House clerk tells me he has already talked now to the leaders of both parties and asked them to remind their members that they should stay in their seats at all times unless there are extenuating circumstances.
Wow. All right. Jennifer Krause with News Channel 5 Investigates. Thanks. We have repeatedly asked to talk with House Speaker Beth Harwell about what we found going on in the House chambers under her watch. Her office has repeatedly turned down our requests, saying she's too busy.